And FPL contact for 24-25 season. My name is Spud. Today, you're joining me for my transfer watches for the 30 most transferred in players for this game week. If you're new around here, this is how we do it. We look at the 30 most transferred players in, and we put them in 6 categories of must-buys, great transfers, good transfers, transfers that are optional lucrative, transfers that are gambles, and transfers we certainly need to avoid in the coming game week ahead. So first off, we start from the bottom of that list. I've put Wisa on this list because he was on the most daily transfer but just got knocked out in the last half an hour. So I thought I'd put him in there as well. But he is on a void as he's been injured now and he's going to be out for a couple of months. So people that bought him in just before the injury news came out, they bought him in just after he scored the goal against Man City. And that probably let them down. They're probably very angry by making that transfer and losing out on him. So for me, he is on a void. Next up, we have Trent. Now, I think Trent's a good transfer if you're playing a wild card because it's very hard to get in a £7 million defender into your team unless you're using a wild card because there's probably other places in your team that you probably need to prioritize more on than on your defender. But if you're doing a wild card this game week, Trent will be your man to bring in if you don't already have him. He hasn't had any attacking returns yet, but he's put up crazy amount of XGs in assists and goals. So sooner or later, he will bring in an attacking return. And obviously, there's a chance of clean sheet as well. Next up, we have Dominic Solanke. Now, he is, I think, a gamble because of reason being he just hasn't hit the ground running yet for Tottenham. It's a big money signing for Tottenham on his name. 65 million is quite a bit. But I just believe once he starts get going, he will bring on the form in that time. But until then, it's a gamble move if you want to make. If you need to make some money for Haaland and Salah to get into your team, if you're looking to get rid of Isak maybe, and you're trying to downgrade, Solanke would be your man. Next up, we have Havertz. Now for this game week, I'll be avoiding Havertz because they play against Man City, and even in the future, I think with Odegaard being out, Havertz will drop more into the midfield, and Jesus will be playing as ST. Unless Jesus gets injured, then Havertz will be forced to play as ST again, which then will be a good transfer. But for me now, it is a void. Was a good transfer a few weeks ago before Odegaard's injury. But with Odegaard's injury, I think he'll be playing more of a midfield role, so he won't be getting the goals that he was getting in the previous time. And as a forward position as well, which I think we have other options now and there in that category, I think I would avoid Havertz. Next up, we have Dalot. Now, Dalot's an optional one. I did get a clean sheet in the last game against Southampton, but Southampton did miss a penalty in that game. He has got a chance of even giving you attacking returns. He does like to go forward, but not a player that I'll be rushed to bring in this game week, in my opinion. So I would be avoiding him, but he is an optional player to bring in my opinion. Next up, we have Ahmed. I think he's an optional as well with rotation risk between him and Garnacho and maybe Rashford in the future. But Rashford, for some reason, has been nailed on to his position, even though the performances haven't shown in the first 3 games. But he has shown in the last Southampton and the Carling Cup game. But that's not enough to bring Rashford into a team. But one thing we know is Ahmed and Garnacho will be rotating quite a bit. So for me, it's an optional player to bring in. Next up, we have Harvey Barnes. I think Harvey Barnes is a good transfer to bring in. He scored a banger the other day. And besides from Gordon, for Man City, I think he's one of the biggest threats that they have. And I think going forward, he will be providing some goals and assists. But with Isak being out, it's probably the only reason why I think he is not a great transfer. Plus, he is a rotational risk as well, a tiny bit. So for me, just a good transfer for him. So next up, I have Winks. Another optional. If a fifth choice striker, if you're transferring money and you don't want to waste extra money on a midfielder, 4.5, lowest it can be to bring in less than midfielder Winks. Next up, actually wait, he was supposed to be a lot higher. Next up, we have Delete. Yeah, next up we have Delete. So Another optional, because I'd rather have Dallo instead of Dillit, because Dillit did get attacking return in the last game, but I just don't expect him to do that in the future. So I'd rather have Dallo instead. For me, another optional player to bring in. Same as Mazraoui, I'll probably put him higher than Dallo because he's a bit cheaper. But otherwise, I wouldn't be in any rush to bring in Dallo into my team. Stewart, another optional player to bring in as a fit third store striker if you want to save money in other parts of your team because you can't afford to waste money on a player that's going to be on your bench. Stewart is your man. Starting some games, maybe optional in my opinion, if you're using a wild card. Next up, we have Pedro Porro. I think he's a good transfer. We know what he can do with his attacking qualities. Spurs don't keep many clean sheets because of the high line, so don't expect to be getting him any clean sheets. But the attacking returns is there to be made. So for that reason, I think I'm going to put him a bit higher than Barnes. Next up, we have Rea. I think Rea is a great transfer to do if you're doing a wild card. My man is probably one of the best keepers on form right now in the Premier League. Made an amazing penalty save, and not penalty save was good. The second save after that was world class, and yeah, he's on fire right now. Form, confidence high as hell. Arsenal got the best defense in the Premier League at the moment. If you go by the sample data of last year, for me, a great transfer to bring in if you're using a wild card, and if you've got extra money to spend on your defense. Then we got Madueke. I'll put Madueke as optional, really. Put the highest. He's just not a good transfer in my opinion. There's a slight rotation risk for him, but I think he'll be starting. But I just don't think he'll be getting the hat trick that he got the other day. If you actually look at the hat trick, it was kind of lucky to get all 3 goals, in my opinion. So for me, another optional player to bring in. I'll be in no rush to bring him in personally into my team. A very inconsistent player. Now, Dingy, now, he was a good transfer last week, but he might be a bit of a gamble now because Cash has returned back to training. So sooner or later, Dingy will lose his position or he'll be fighting for his position in the right back spot. So I have him in my team. I'm hoping his price goes up before I can able to sell him and make 1.1 profit in that time that he has to play for Villa. But I expect him to start this next game. I don't expect Cash to be rushed back in at this yet. So for now, I think bringing Dingy, it will be a gamble in the long run. For single game week, yeah, but in the long run, a gamble. Next up, we have Palmer. I think Palmer is an avoid, personally, because I think he costs too much, 10.6 million, for a player that's playing a more deeper role than he was last season. The Magic changed the way he sets up, and Palmer could be played a bit more higher. But from what we've seen from the small sample data that we have of this manager and how he plays, Palmer has been playing a lot of deeper role. So I expect him to get assists, but I expect he's going to be on pens. That is one good thing. But for 10.6 million, he just can't be on pens. He needs to be getting goals in open play as well. So for me, it'd be a void. Because West Ham away is not going to be an easy game either. Now McNeil, for me, another avoid because I just don't see him getting the returns that he got the last week on a regular basis. The people that bring him in are just a crowd that just sees, oh, he made this many points last season, last week. I'm going to bring him in. So for me, it's another avoid to bring into your team. I think it's simple, really. Next up, we have Gabriel. And I think he's a good transfer just because he keeps clean sheets. Arsenal keep clean sheets, and he's an attacking threat in corners, like he showed against Tottenham during the set piece. So for me, he's a good transfer. 6 million is a high point, but if you're saving money in other places in your team, say if you only have Haaland and no Salah, or if you just have Salah, then you must have extra money to spend on your defense. Oh, it does. Yes, he does. I am sorry I did not change this. My bad. My bad. Thank you for noticing.
He's Mikulenko. Mikunilenko.
Sorry about that. I'll make sure I double check next time. Onana, I think, is a good transfer for reason being he is playing full 90 minutes for Villa. An attacking role, is a threat in corners, and makes a run up there.
That's not Onana either.
Not, yes, Onana.
That's not him.
Right.
Sure.
Is it funny? You're funny. Don't make me turn this camera towards you, yeah?
It doesn't move that far. It's another rotation.
It can rotate easily, I think, yeah. Alright, Onana, like I said, but I'd rather have his mate Rogers, who's not being transferred this game week. I know he hasn't returned to the first four, but it's only a matter of time that he does return, with him playing every 9 minutes for every game, looking like a fit lad. So hopefully Rogers is the man, but Onana is still not a bad shout. Next up, we have the main man, the king of FPL, Salah himself. In my opinion, a great transfer if you're playing a wild card, but I wouldn't be taking minuses just for this game week because you want him to be your captain.
Yeah, it looks like the other Onana.
No.
His name's not
He's
Onana.
just trying to get with your joke, yeah. So Salah, I wouldn't rush into him if you don't want to. If you have to do many minuses, unless you built the transfers up and you're playing a wild card. Calvert-Lewin could be a good transfer in to bring in. Reason being because he's 5.9 million. Everton are scoring goals, but they are letting goals in as well. He's on penalties for them, so could be a good transfer. So I'm gonna put him in the gambles because it's Everton, after all, who haven't got so many injuries in the team at the moment already that could affect their attacking output. So for that, a gamble. Now Sanchez, I think is optional. I know he saved a penalty last game week, but I'll be in no rush to bring him into my team unless I'm playing a wildcard maybe. But even then, there are better options out there. Now in Burmo, he is a good transfer playing a wildcard, but if you're not playing a wildcard, I'll wait another extra week to bring him in. And even then, there are other options for Brentford as well with Shard and Carvalho to choose from. But if you're playing a wild card and you need to bring him in now, then it's not a bad fixture against Tottenham away with a high line that Tottenham play and with the high press that Brentford play. Brentford can hurt Tottenham. So if you're playing a wild card, go for it. Now Duran, I think Duran's a good transfer. Reason being, at some point or later, he will in the end start maybe. But because Watkins is such a nailed-on starter at the moment, whenever he's fully fit, he will start. For that reason, Durant is a gamble, but there could be some rotation sometime in the future. But I wanted my brother to bring him in before his price rise, but him starting him is a risk because we just don't know what Emre will do. We'll probably figure out these few weeks how he does navigate the Champions Leagues and other cups and in rotation. But till then, I think he's a gamble to bring in. Welbeck is a good transfer. I think he will be starting this game week again. Ahead of Pedro. Pedro, we're not sure if he's going to be starting. He has got a niggle. He has been training he trained on Wednesday and Thursday. Don't know if he trained today. But I think Welbeck is a guaranteed starter for them at the moment. I know Ferguson's back from injury as well. But Ferguson is still young, only 19 years old. Welbeck is a seasoned pro. And I think the young manager that in charge, he likes to go with Welbeck. So I think Welbeck probably is one of the transfers you might have to make if you need to make a transfer, really. If one of your strikers, like say Nunez or Isak, you want to downgrade to get some money to bring in Salah, I think Welbeck might be your man to bring in. Now, Anani, is that how you say his name? I think he could. I know. I think he is probably the optional and lucrative at the same time because Forest kept a clean sheet against Liverpool. They're looking pretty good this season already, like a good unit. 4.4 million. At the moment, looking like a guaranteed star. If you're playing a wild card, maybe great to bring him into your team at 4.4. Not bad in my opinion. Next up, we have Smith Rowe, a player who's returning on at least every other game, which is good enough for a player that's only 5.7 million. Has had 2 price rises. Newcastle at home is not be an easy game, but he was rested during the week, so I expect him to play this game and get an attacking return. So for me, he is a good transfer. Now, Haaland is a great transfer if you're doing a wild card, but if you're not doing a wild card, there's no need to bring in Haaland this week. But I can't put him a must buy because it's against Arsenal at home. But for me, it is a great transfer playing a wild card. If you're doing a single transfer, do not bring Haaland into this week. Joao Pedro train today. That's good. That's good news for me. Next up, we have Diaz. Now, I think Diaz is a good transfer, but he is potential to be rotation risk in the future. But he will be starting this game week. So I think I'm going to put him below, just above Mbeumo because it's a better fixture than Mbeumo this game week. So Diaz will be higher than Mbeumo in my opinion. He's at 3 price rises now at 7.8, which is really nice for me. But yeah. Next up, we have Vardy. I would want to avoid Vardy. I just think he's not going to get the returns that people want from him. Where I just think other players around the same value as him are more likely to put a return in. I know Everton does not have the strongest defence at the moment, but I think in the long run, Vardy will not be putting the numbers in. Yeah, he looks like Gag as well, subbed off as well earlier as well because it just has to be done, I think, in my personal opinion. But hopefully, the way Liverpool are playing now is like they're not trying to wait to the end of the game to get the goals. They want to get the goals early on and then make the subs. For that reason, I think he should be above 60 minutes. I think last week, because we were playing AC Milan and away, he got subbed off pretty early at 60th minute. I can understand that. But next week, we're playing a Carabao Cup game. Not sure if we're at home. But yeah, you can imagine the Carabao Cup game, Diaz won't be used. So I think Diaz should play this full game week and full minutes. Probably in the future. But for now, I think Diaz is more nailed on. He's preferred more over Gakpo because of more explosiveness. And last up, the most transferring player we have is Watkins. I think he is a great transfer to bring in to your team, especially after he got a price drop. I know he didn't start the season off the best, but he was recovering from an injury. Didn't go to the international break. Came back from the international break and two goals, which were good, semi-good. Got good fixture list coming up for Villa. I think he should be the supporting striker alongside Haaland, if you have Haaland in your team. And if you have Haaland and Watkins, then obviously you'll have to either have a five-man midfield or have a very cheap third striker. And in my opinion, you can gamble with Calvert-Lewin, go for Vardy, which I think is an avoid. Joao Pedro, Welbeck, but we didn't get a good result from Brighton the game week before against Ipswich, which was probably the one game week everybody was banking on for those two, Welbeck and Joao Pedro, to get good amount of points. Welbeck blanked completely, and Joao Pedro didn't play because he came back injured from the international break, where we found out way too late for us to make a sub on it or a transfer. Because I played my wild card last week and I had no clue, so I had the opportunity to. They told us earlier to not have Joao Pedro in my team, but for me it worked out because if I didn't have Joao Pedro, I probably would have played Welbeck and or lost out on points that Smith Rowe got for me from the bench. So in the end, it worked out for me, but we'll see what happens in the future. So, personally, if your team is good, you should roll your transfer on. Because I am looking to roll my transfers on this game week. I'm not looking to make any transfers myself personally, because I did a wildcard last game week to get Salah in. I think that's the only player that people might be rushing to bring in, and for that reason, they're looking to downgrade on their striker or other parts in the team to fund the money for Salah. But because he blanked last game week, I think some people might be a bit put off this game week to bring him in. That's why we haven't seen him that high up on the list of transfers this game week. Let me just switch over to my team. So here we go. My mistake was last week where I didn't captain Haaland, which was a mistake in the end of the day, because Salah only got 2 points, so I missed out on 11 points. Could have made a better return, and then probably got a green arrow. In the end, I got a red arrow, even though I was just above the average. Not good enough. But transfer-wise, I've got 1 free transfer, 0 in the bank. I'll probably got to make a choice tomorrow if I want to start with João Pedro or Smith Rowe or Rodgers instead, because I think I'm definitely going to be starting Salah, Diaz, and Eze. It's between João Pedro, Rodgers, and Smith Rowe for me. You probably transfer Isak or Sak. I would transfer out Isak personally. One thing I know about Isak in the sample data I have from last year, he doesn't score many away goals in general anyway. He's more of like a scoring goals at home, and his injury record from last year is coming back again a little bit. So for me, I would get rid of Isak, and depending on how much money you have. Let me just have a look. FPL down. No. Which one's the team again? Oh, yeah, this one's the team. I'll take up Isak because I think you want Saka in the game after, really, because they got Leicester and Southampton not straight after the Man City game. And if there's anyone that's going to get a return against Man City now, I think it will be Saka. He'll be taking the penalties as well. With Odegaard being out, I'll probably keep Saka. Yeah, I'll definitely probably keep Saka and probably just replace Isak for 0.1 million bank. So you can't get Watkins. You probably have to downgrade to another striker. AI recommended I do no transfers as well. I'll roll my bank my transfers. But maybe like you got Jepson, yeah, not good. Maybe go for Wood. It's a big downgrade. Just make some 2.3 million in price. Can have, and then you have 2.4 to invest in other places in your team. Maybe Solanke. But like I said, it's a gamble because he hasn't had a return yet. He is due. Brentford at home needs to be a game where he can do it. Yeah, I'd rather have Saka still. Because he'll still be returning for you. Like, every game week he's had one return no matter what. So, it's not like he's not returning. I would not take out Saka. I would hold Saka on to Saka really. Jesus is dropping in price if you want to gamble with him, but that may probably next game week. Go for Mateta maybe. He did get rested in the last game in the Carabao Cup.
No, I think he played.
He played.
Pretty sure he started.
Okay, as well you got, but that's a gamble because I think Mateta's playing high up, more chance of getting goals. But Nketiah is a lot cheaper as well. Calvert-Lewin, like I said, he's on pens. They are playing like they're getting the goals, but just conceding a lot of goals at the same time. Apparently, Hoyland's back. But yeah. Solanke and Mateta. Both around the same price range as well. I think Mateta has the harder fixture list because the 3 home games that they have coming up are United, Liverpool, and Tottenham, and the 2 away games are Everton and Forest, and Villa, and Wolves. Sorry, so not easy games, but Crystal Palace do like doing upsets like they have done in the past. Solanke, but the thing with Solanke, Mateta's a better option because he's proven of getting goals for Crystal Palace. Solanke at this new club hasn't got a single goal yet, or any return. He's had only played 2 games yet, and 1 Carabao Cup game, but he's had chances in the first game before his injury. Brentford at home is a game where he would expect to get points. Then 2 hard games after that, United away and Brighton away, which is going to be hard. West Ham at home, a derby game. Crystal Palace away. It is a tough one between Solanke and Mateta. Or are you doing a walk-on next week? If you're doing a walk-on next week, you need 1 week punt. It's a flip of a coin, man, between Solanke and Mateta. Because you can say Solanke's got an easier fixture for himself compared to Mateta to United at home, but Mateta's gonna be on penalties, which we know, and maybe rotating with SA, and Solanke probably not gonna be on pens. Son's gonna be on pens most likely. So unless Son gives the pen to Solanke to build his confidence, which we can't guarantee. So and Mateta's a differential as well at 4.5% as well. So that will, if he gets points, that will help you boost your rank a lot. Yeah. I think I'll leave it like that. Thing with Lewis is he did get subbed off at half time in the last game. Not sure why he got subbed off. Was it tactical or was it fitness wise? because he was playing in the Champions League game against Inter Milan. So don't know if Walker will be back to the team. I have him as well, Lewis. I'm gonna be starting Lewis, Trent, and Dingy. But I think your one is between, I say, Missouri and is that how you say his name? Mazraoui and Fuse.
You call it Missouri, but
Missouri. Yeah.
like the state.
Yeah.
Missouri. Where's California? Which one's California?
But yeah, Robertson Lewis I will start, and I think Fuse has got more chance of getting an attacking return from corners against Everton. As we know, Everton's defense is weak. Leicester will try to make something from their set plays. Yeah, I'll rather go for him. But then, because Fulham are playing, Fulham playing Tottenham, United, isn't it? Yeah, Fulham are playing Tottenham. I'm Newcastle. So, they're playing Crystal Palace. I'd rather have Robertson. I think you got to choose between Lewis and Mazraoui. I don't think Mazraoui's going to keep a clean sheet. Personally, for the Man City game, I'm predicting either 0-0 or 1-0. And I will not be shocked if it's 0-0 again, because both teams just cancelling each other out. One team not going out there to win the game. Yeah, hopefully. Last week I would have had a green if I just made Haaland captain. That was my mistake, making the Haaland captain. I tried to gamble with everyone around me and Haaland captain. I Salah, which I do regret in the end, but yeah. I can't make transfer. I got zero money in the bank with one transfer left, free. I could take João Pedro out, but then I'll have to bench Rodgers or Smith Rowe. You know? So at the moment, I'll do what I like. It would be good if it was the first game being played, then we get some team leaks. But nah, not this game week. I think it's Crystal Palace first game week this week. Right? No, West Ham Chelsea, so not really any help for me. But yeah. Anyone else on no Avies? And AI literally said, don't have to change my team at all. So what rating did it give anyway? 95 rating. Not bad. AI transfers. It should be 0 again. No transfer recommended. So I am good to go. Let's have a quick look at the AI team that they've got on their team. Free hit. Ramsdale in goal. Ipswich. Not bad. 4.4 million. Trent Robber. I don't think AI knows about Allison being injured, because I think if he knew Allison was injured, those predicted points would drop a bit. Then Romero. No Haaland. Salah in the team. Eze, Palmer, Son, Rodgers, Watkins, and Wood. Wildcard team. Redenbergen, yeah. Fusing, 4.1 million. I wish I had him at the start. At 4 million would have been good to have as a backup player on the bench. So AI is backing Palmer over Haaland in the long term, in my opinion. is back in Solanke and Wood. But AI hasn't backed Haaland this whole game, like since the start of the year, really. That's the problem. That's why I think this year people are proving AI is not correct completely because of what Haaland is doing in every single fucking game. Oh no, he's playing. He was just getting rested because Robbo is getting tired. So like whenever he can rest him, he'll do. Like Timiskas is a player that is defensively weak, not attackingly great, just average. He made the mistake losing the ball high up. That led to AC Milan scoring their first goal, and he made up for it in the second half with the corner he put in for Van Dijk's goal, which was good for him. But I think Robbo will be starting. He's just a better defender, better going forward. It's just his fitness, and that's just, I think, Arne Slot managing him perfectly, really. You alright, man, Sanj? Yeah, bro. You're like, where are you? There you are, Sanji Joseph. Made good amount of points last week. Yeah, 15 points, man. And then you had Greaves as well. I had fucking Greaves on the fucking bench, Jack. Let me see how much money. No money in the bank. No money in the bank. Only person I've really changed would be Madueke. Defense is just really cheap. I think it's 4.5 million, 4 million. So you put no money into your defense at all. But yeah. Rogers is like an enigma at the moment. I'm hoping he has to give a return this game week. Can't be the fifth row in a week where he plays full 90 minutes and doesn't get a return. Because that'll just be a letdown after all that. But yeah. Palmer, I think you should avoid. Too much money for a player that's playing a bit more deeper role, even though he's on penalties. AI has got these predictions because of past data from last season, and I think it'll just adjust over time. Yeah. Which I put on the bench. 8 transfer distance. Probably just Madueke, man. Maybe. For the thing is, you've got no money in the bank. You've got 2 transfers, but you don't want to take out Watkins, really. You want to keep Watkins. Once you've got Mbama, you want to keep Mbama. If I were you, I'll probably roll it again. Get one more transfer in the bank. Wait for next game week. Maybe you want to replace Madueke with someone else, maybe. If not, you might want to keep him. Roll it on. and you might want to change Rogers maybe if he doesn't start producing. Maybe bring in Shard from Brentford. He's going to be cheap now because he will be playing ST with Wisa being out. 5.4 million. It's not bad, but there's another bigger differential in my opinion. His differential is at 0.1 million, but another one will be Carvalho, who's at 4.8 now, midfielder. I don't think he'll play against Tottenham. A slight chance he might play if he goes for the 4-3-3 formation, but I expect him to come out with the 3 and then the 2 fullbacks. So only playing with the 2 players up front with only Shashard and Burma because Reece is out. But after the Tottenham game, I expect them to return back to their normal formation, 4-3-3, where Shard will play up front and Burma on the right and Carvalho on the left. And I'm probably going to be jumping on the bandwagon of Carvalho the minute he, probably straight away the week after, I think. Because I rate him highly. He scored an overhead kick the other day. Got 2 assists in that same game. I know that was against Leyton Orient, but it's still a red kick. It's still a red kick. You know, just shows his qualities of what he's capable of doing. Madueke just as a boss line. It is, but how much is Superfly? 6.5. It's around the same price range, but I just don't think you'll get consistent returns. And I don't see him being a goal scorer. We do need more goals from him as a Liverpool fan, but I just don't see him being the goal scorer the way that Liverpool play. He's more of a supporting act on the build-up, you know. But yeah, you could roll the transfer on from McCready, maybe Rogers. If Rogers doesn't fulfill his duties in these 2 games, you take him out for Carvalho, or you take out João Pedro, downgrade him to a 4.5 million striker, get yourself a 1.2 million, and upgrade Rogers to somebody else. So you probably get 1.2, so about 6 million. You probably have not many midfielders out there for 6 million. So if we look at the predicted points, so around that range. Semedo, maybe next game week, it'd be great to have Southampton at home, Leicester away, and then Arsenal home, but then a few hard games after that. Villa away, Man City home. But it'd be good for those 2 game weeks. Smith Rowe would be good if you already had him, because he's good for the next 2 fixtures, but after that it gets a bit harder for him, in my opinion. But yeah, I think I would roll the transfer on if I were you, and may have yourself 3 transfers. I want to know he's a rotation risk with Ahmed. He got a goal over the midweek. He didn't get a goal over the midweek. So what's that get score? Van Dijk and oh yeah, he did get a 3rd goal on it. Yeah, but that was like a tapping goal. Like it was just hit onto him. I just don't think he is one of the nailed-on stars, but it's just not.
He's shit. He's bloody shit, is what he is.
What are you talking about?
Just say it. He's not good enough to put in your team, innit? You wouldn't put him in your team, would you?
No, I've got 3 players already, innit?
Yeah, but you never have slot as an option, would you?
If I had to have a cheap option, but
How cheap is she?
6.5.
No.
I just think their goals will come from other places, really.
Watch him get 2 now.
Barnes, you can go for if you think he's going to be having more of a role, more guaranteed starting places. I do like Barnes. Very attacking, takes long range shots, creates chances. Yeah, I'd rather have Barnes because there will be a time when Soboslai will be rotated as soon as Jones is up to speed because you can't play every game. It's just a matter of fact.
I can grab a quick.
Yeah, go for it. We'll wrap up if office anyway. Tired as well, yeah. What time you go to sleep yesterday?
2ish, I think, maybe 3. Something like that.
You went to sleep at 2 o'clock, same as me.
Yeah, I need more sleep. I always need more sleep. Always wake up in between, don't get proper sleep. Nightmares.
I don't know, not this game. I don't think Canada gets rested this game. Canada plays. I think Kwanzaa plays in the midweek in the Carabao Cup, and then Canada plays next game after that as well. Yeah. Oh, this one, I've got no other name on this shirt. On my Brentford shirts, I have no names on the back because I bought them from the club in it, so I didn't get it printed. But on my other shirts, I normally have my own name Spad on them. I can show you. Yeah, most times I always get look Spad. Oh, this one's off Firmino because I wanted to when he was leaving the club. Spad on this one as well. So it's just how it is.
Yeah. That's who we are, mate. That's who we are, mate.
Normally I just like get my own name on the back and then say if a certain players leaving after a long service, then I'll get their number on my back. But most times I get the number 18. Like number 9 I got for Firmino because he was leaving, good service to the club. Got one for Carragher, number 23 on my black one that I got a couple of years back, a while back now, a long time ago. But yeah, you got so many shirts. So many. But most of them have my name on the back. I don't get players' names really.
Like German dollar? You don't want to? Why does it let you down every time?
Oh, cool.
Yeah?
Cool. Let's get food bit first.
Yeah, but same thing. It'll come at the same time.
Are you hungry, yeah?
I'm just fucking tired. It's cold. I'm just
cool.
sweating. I don't know what's going on. I'm just hot and sweating.
Oh. Alright, thank you guys for joining me for my stream. If there's any quick questions you want to ask, go ahead. But otherwise, I will be seeing you guys tomorrow morning if you can join me for the deadline stream. Maybe some information we get. I'll have to do a transfer, but highly doubt I'll have to do a transfer. I will just literally do my dead live stream for you guys, for anyone that comes on and wants any bit of help in their teams. And hopefully some new people that join the stream and I can help them. You know, because that's what I'm here to do. Help all of us get a higher rank that watches my streams. But yeah. Thank you guys for joining me. But we just pick my team for now. And bring on Smith Rowe for Jack Pedro. Kind of regret bringing Keane into my team. But I just don't think he's going to get game time once all the players are back. It's good night, bro. It's like, what time? It's like 8 o'clock and nearly here. So, got about 4 hours to go. But, yeah. See you in the morning. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining me. If you're new around here, please like, subscribe to my channel. If you're watching this on repeat. Thank you, man. See you later next time, bro. See ya.
What do you want? Flaming fries, yeah?
Yeah.
And do you want to take out... wait, hold on.